Hey, what's up guys? It's Jake the Snake here. And I wanted to apologize for the lack of videos over the course of the last couple of months. In January, we went on vacation and my fiance ended up getting into a skiing accident, which then resulted in some surgeries, leaving me no time to make any videos. After playing some other VR games, I realized they don't let you akimbo other weapons. And in my opinion, that's one of the best things about VR, especially in shooters, is the ability to pick up random guns and just akimbo anyone's. See, in normal desktop games, you can akimbo certain guns. Think back to Modern Warfare 2. Those model 1870s were just insane. So I wanted to put to the test today whether akimbo was worth it or not. Could you use two weapons at the same time and get better results than a single weapon? I picked various weapons from each class: shotguns, pistols, revolvers, and etc. And I'll be showing them today, and you take your opinion on which you like. So at first, we have the Beretta M9A3, one of my personal favorites in the game. It's a 9mm that's rocking an 18-round magazine. Due to its high magazine capacity, I figured it would be one of the best pistols to use in this scenario. Gives you plenty of ammo to use. Now, one thing you may see me doing in this, and you may be questioning it, yes, I was using both guns at the same time, never one gun at a time. I really wanted to see if the two bullets would make up for the lack of iron sight use. And I was pretty impressed. Up close, this thing did amazing. Never missed really any shots. But when you started getting to the further distances, that's when it started getting harder. But I figured that would be like every gun, besides the shotguns. I found my biggest problem was when I was reloading. In the moment, it was hard to remember what mag goes where, what gun was where, and I ended up mixing them up a couple of times. But all in all, I definitely see myself using these again, for sure. Next up, I wanted to use the MPKs. They're a relatively new gun. They were added during the Christmas update, and I love this gun. And it doesn't have too much recoil where you can actually still use it with one hand. I feel like one of the main reasons I do love this gun is it reminds me of the MPL from Black Ops 1. I don't know if it's the same weapon or not, but it looks close to it, and I love it. Now, just like the Berettas, up close these things do amazing. But unlike the Berettas, whenever you get far away, these things are really hard to hit things with. I found myself putting whole mags out just to get one enemy, and if that. And due to the rapid fire, they ran out of ammo very quickly compared to the pistols. Another thing I noted was the stocks, when they're folded, definitely made it a little bit harder to reload. All in all, I wouldn't use these akimbo unless you're in a very tight space. They excel in tight spaces, but when it comes to any type of range, they don't do too fair. Next up, the Rhino Revolver. I wanted to try out using two 6-shots, just to see what we could get done with it. I figured they would give me a challenge, especially how often I had to reload them. I knew that was going to be a pain. The fact that I had the ability to use moon clips made it a lot easier to reload. I can only imagine how hard it would be to reload one shell at a time for each. I did find a little trick with these though. With the glowing sight, there's a way you can actually line these up pretty well. It takes a little bit, but if you have time, it's worth it because you're able to nail the two shots. Problem is, whenever, especially with the revolver, it uses one bullet to kill an enemy, you're using two bullets. Therefore, you really only have 6 shots to use. But just like every weapon so far, up close it does amazing. I would say medium range, not too bad. Far range, impossible. But with the last couple of weapons, that's pretty obvious. I give these a pretty high score using akimbo, just because I do like it. But so far the Berettas win it all. So we've tried pistols, SMGs, and now shotguns. I couldn't figure out which ones to akimbo, so I went with what I said earlier, the Model 1870s. Now I don't know if these are identical to the ones from Modern Warfare 2, but they are fun. And personally, I could not figure out how to cycle it. I think I messed up the cycling of the shotgun more than I actually got it right. But when I did get it right, it kicked ass. I could have used these for hours. They excelled in close and medium range, and at far range it was a hit or miss. It just depends on where you were aiming. I felt like the shells could have easily made it, but shotguns in H3VR are definitely very forgiving on range. When it comes to reloading, it's a bit tough. You never really know when these things are out. I had a lot of trouble finding that out. But when it did come to reloading, it was pretty easy to get the shells in there. But with my experience, I definitely would never use this in take and hold. Last but not least, I wanted to go with something crazy. What in the world was I thinking? Yes, I wanted to go with the Barrett 50. Now I don't know if these are exactly the Barrett 50s, but they look like them, and my god are they overpowered akimboed. I could not miss if I wanted to. These guys excelled at close, medium, and long range. Now I think they might have explosive rounds because I seemed like I was missing, or I was just a dead accurate shot. The magazines held enough not to have to worry to reload so often. And for once I felt like I didn't even need iron sights. Now the recoil on them are insane, but I never had the problem where my multi-shots were missing because of it. The rounds are just too big. If you're lucky enough to get 2 of these and take and hold, I would definitely use these, because my god are they fun. Just know you're going to use a lot of ammo though. All in all, my thoughts on akimboing weapons really hasn't changed too much. I've always known that akimbo is very good for short range, and average for medium. But these Barretts did change my mind on the far range aspect. And I always do find myself in the beginning rounds of take and hold buying 2 pistols just to akimbo to cover 2 corridors. But that's just everybody's playstyle. It's whether you like to do it or not. It's a mess in your inventory, man. You gotta drop stuff, and it's hard to do. So it depends on what you like. But I personally enjoy it. I hope you guys learned something useful from this video. Maybe take something home with it. And as always, thank you.